Hello everybody, I'm TychoCelchuuu, and if you haven't watched my previous Men of War video, I would go do that now because this is round 2 of 2 of an Assault Zones, not an Assault Zones, of a frontline match. We are now defending, and I guess it's raining now because it's sad that we're being attacked. I like the dynamic weather, you know, a lot of games, they're like, this map will be sunny, and every time you play the map it's sunny. But in Men of War, it's like, this map is rainy now, so deal with it. And, I bought a machine gun right off the bat, because the more machine guns you have set up, the better. Those guys really mow down infantry, and since you can buy single machine guns, no need to buy a squad. I do that right as soon as possible. There's a cooldown. You can only buy each unit every once in a while. Each unit has a different cooldown, and so I buy the machine gun first thing to get that cooldown going, so that I can maximize the number of machine guns I buy. And I also buy a normal regular infantry squad because they can set up lots of sandbags, and they also come with a machine gun. And a lot of Garand people and Springfield rifle people, so they're pretty good for defending. They sort of sit there, set up a lot of defenses and stuff, and having remembered how partially annoying it was to assault this place last time there were sandbags here, I decided I'll set up my own sandbags here with machine guns and everything like that. And we do have 2 minutes to set up, so here I go. I'm not doing very well setting up the sandbags. My sandbag micro is extremely lacking, but it could be worse. I should probably be setting up some mines. Wasting a lot of time. You should get the mines going as soon as possible so that you get your minefields laid. I also remembered how annoying it was attacking buildings, so I'm going to set up a lot of people in a lot of windows and stuff, because they'll be tough to take out, is hopefully the idea. Buildings and sandbags, and you want to really be utilizing all the cover you can, because the harder it is to kill you, the easier it is for you to kill them. You want to really be dug in as a defender, just make it hard for them to get to you, hard for them to get rid of you.
Yes, sir.
You want to stay there for the long haul. You don't want to just think about maximizing damage, you want to think about maximizing territory, capturing potential, whatever, I don't know, territory holding potential. So now it's time for the mines. I like AP mines, anti-personnel, and AT mines, anti-tank, when I am on the defense. And god damn it, I clicked on the squad leader and told him to move, so the whole fucking squad moved, and there's probably some way not to do that. There's probably a disband squad button, but that just sucks. So these are the AP mines? These are AP mines, so when infantry run over them, they will explode, and I'm placing them in places where I believe the infantry will be walking. Certainly the points that they have to capture are places where infantry will be walking, so there's nothing they can do about that. And then the AT mines, the anti-tank, are slightly more complicated because you set those up where vehicles are going to go, and there's no guarantee that vehicles are going to go over the points. You see I'm sort of setting up haphazardly. I find that if you, well, I don't find, I'm just making this up as I go along, but I assume that I make up as I go along that if you place mines in like a very logical sort of like block the entire road sort of thing, it's too easy for your opponent to figure out where they are. Like, oh, there's a string of mines across here, so I like to go for slightly more random, like a string of mines sort of up the road in a vertical stripe, or like cover 70% of the road, something like that. That way, you know, they run over a mine in the middle of the road, they figure there's mines all the way across. It's like, surprise, no there aren't, but for a while you keep them from going there. So I realized belatedly that I didn't buy AT guns, so I gotta get those set up real fast. Luckily his Puma runs into one of my mines, actually runs into the mine layer too, so he dies, but since that stops the Puma long enough for me to set some real crossfire with these AT guns. So AT guns are very important on the defense too. You want to be able to knock out their tanks with as little input as possible. And oh god, the artillery started. That looked like a Vespa or something, a West. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's going to be shelling for a while. Remember in Assault Squad, the artillery now comes in barrages. When they fire, they commit to firing like 3 to 5 shells or something. Ooh, that Vespa really tearing me apart. There's 2 of them firing. I'm losing all sorts of people, but it comes in barrages, so once you see the first explosion, start thinking about getting out of there. Really decrewing all my AT guns. Really annoying. That one killed the AT gun, so this artillery is just annoying as hell. And now the building starts falling down. I'm losing people there too. I've lost most of my people. Happily, my ally had an AT gun shooting over here, so that saved my butt. And the only reason my defense hasn't collapsed entirely is that he hasn't followed up his massive artillery barrages with any infantry attacks. So remember this sort of lesson, when you're firing artillery into the fog of war, you might hit something and kill something. So he's been scouting with these light vehicles and getting some good kills, although I'm not sure if he's gotten more points than he's lost, because he paid for that with a Puma and a armored car, and in fact I took the armored car, so I'm not sure if killing my infantry was worth it, although I guess he did kill my AT gun, so maybe it was worth it, but it was almost half and half, you know. He gets some, I get some. But he didn't follow it up with infantry when I was weakened, so he could have done more damage too. And now this is bad. This is bad. I don't have an AT gun. I have some AT grenades, but everyone's just getting mowed down and telling them to go prone, but it's not happening. It's just really bad. And so maybe I can get this AT gun angled in to hit that guy, but it looks like probably not. And then I realized, oh, I can buy some AT infantry, just like that guy did in the last game. He was using his Panzerschreck like a Quake rocket launcher. I'll just use my bazooka like a real bazooka. Go up and kill this thing. So I gotta be a little careful not to get my infantry shredded, but it looks pretty simple. I'll just sort of come up on his side and hit him. But it turns out instead the guy who's without the bazooka tried to attack, and that actually worked out fine. I got a damaged track and then a crew injured from my AT gun, and then I followed up with a couple more shots. So that didn't work out very well at all for me. I basically lost an entire squad to that tank blitz. It was my fault not having any AT over there, but now hopefully I'll be ready for it. I've repositioned one AT gun, I repositioned another AT gun. I should be able to aim down both these roads. I've got the bazooka guy nearby, and we're being shelled. Where is the shelling coming from? I don't really know, but I'm telling some people just to get into buildings and chill there, because that's a great way to defend. And I think my AT gun just killed a vehicle, or my ally's AT gun just killed a vehicle. I wasn't watching the death messages quite close enough. And a Vesp, or whatever it's called, just killed a bunch of my allies. People taking some real damage from artillery, so that's really annoying. But you know, that's the wages of being a defender. Like I said in the last video, I've sort of reconciled myself to attackers being able to use artillery in front lines. It certainly makes things interesting. I just wish they had more opportunity or incentive to push forward. But if you look at the points, we have 3,400 versus their 700, so it's going to be very, very hard for them to come back unless they manage to capture these front lines. So now it's really, really important for us to defend. Like, it was important for them to defend, obviously. Like, they didn't want us capturing the front lines any more than we want them capturing the front lines. But, like, you know, if they don't defend well enough and we capture the front lines, it's like, that's not good. But if we don't defend well enough and they capture the front lines, then we can lose, right? Because they have a chance to come back. We took the front lines, now they take the front lines, and 2 more things, they can win. But so we don't have any chance to come back. If we screw this up, we lose. So we gotta be careful, and we're gonna see how this works out, if we can keep them from coming in. They're using a lot of light tanks. The thing about being an attacker in front lines is your tanks can only get so heavy, especially if you don't buy hero units. So this thing's front 2 wheels are broken, but it still works. And I repaired the Puma. So look, suiciding all your scout cars in here so you can get some good artillery barrages, maybe not a bad idea, but you don't follow it up with infantry assaults or anything. Don't do much with the attack, and you do give me 2 scout cars. You give me a Puma and a more traditional scout car, so that's kind of funny. This artillery is fucking annoying. I mean, Jesus Christ, all my AT guns keep getting blown up, or at the very least decrewed. And look, it's a mortar, and I want to attack that mortar, but he set up sandbags, and now there's no way. I'm like, do I want to, like, make a mad dash to the mortar or something? Like, I really want to kill it, but it's, like, far away. I said in the last match that they added tracers, bullet fire, to the minimap. Can you see it? I'm leaning in real close to my screen. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's very hard when the minimap is that small. But, it's a thing. It's a thing, and I'm out of points. So here's the thing. You get a limited number of points as a defender in front lines, and you buy all your units, and then once you run out of points, you're out of points, right? But the thing is, see in the upper right, next to those 2 flag things, there's a white flag, like a retreat flag. That means retreat to the back, to the next set of lines. Right now, when I buy units, they spawn basically at these 2 big points we're trying to protect for them. And so, obviously I can't buy units anymore, I'm out of money, but basically that's where they spawn. I can hit the retreat to the back lines button, and when I do that, I get another boost of money to buy a bunch more units, and also my units will spawn near the back lines instead of near the front lines, so it'll take them longer to get into the fight. So the thing is, when you hit that, it's like you rejuvenate all your cash supply, and you get to buy a bunch of new stuff. So you want to think about when you hit that. Like, I could hit that right now, get a big infusion of people, and build up my thing. But think about it, I'm being shelled by artillery quite a bit, right? I'm taking losses all the time, and they're not probing really hard. Every once in a while they send in a vehicle, but mostly they're just shelling with artillery, right? So the way I figure it, I hold out as long as possible with what I have. The more people I lose, the less the artillery is going to hurt. And if he once he starts moving in with infantry and with more vehicles, then I'll retreat to the back lines, buy some stuff, move up the front, and defend like a real person. But when there's not much pressure from people moving in, when stuff's just blowing up, you know, like, buying more stuff is just gonna make more of my stuff get blown up. Like, it doesn't get me anything to have these men in these buildings. Okay, so now he's moving in, so now maybe it would get me something to have these men in these buildings, but up till now, mostly I've just been like, I've been a punching bag, and I don't want to be a punching bag, so there's no point just to buy a more expensive punching bag for him to punch. I think the decision I made at this point was I'm not going to retreat to the back lines. I'm not going to hit that button and get a point boost until it's fairly dire straits. Until he's taken some more stuff, I've given him as much losses as I can with my existing points. And I'm not sure if retreating to the back lines also gives you extra special points, so I decided I'll probably spend the special points. So this is an M8. This is some of the only artillery I can buy, basically, as the defenders. They don't give the defenders very much artillery, but luckily the United States has a hero unit that's artillery, and it's fairly cheap. It's 1 point off your hero units, and it's not the greatest artillery. It doesn't have a very good arc of fire, but other than that, it's good. It's big explosions, stuff like that. Nice little gun. I want to take out this mortar, but he's way too far away, and there's a house in the way. So, but look, that's not bad range. Lob some shells. So I set him on hold fire, and I'm like, okay, you'll be doing that. And since the hero units all have a long cooldown, so it's gonna be a while before I can buy another M8. But that's the idea. And oh, it's a minesweeper. So I'm looking over on the right just to see what's going on there. And looks like there's a minesweeper coming up, and he should be able to hit it once it gets to the top of the hill. So my allies also done a good job defending. We're doing about as well as each other. They're still pretty low on points. Look at this guy torching those buildings. He doesn't know there's nobody there. We're doing all right on points. Again, so the thing is, it might come down to who captures whether they capture the front line, or it might not. Because remember, we had more points than them before we captured the front line, so it's possible we'll just win on kills alone. But I don't know how many points you get for capturing the front line, so I'm not sure right now if they'll win by capturing the front line, or if they'll also have to kill a bunch of people. Because frankly, they've been killing a lot of people this match, but I've also killed some tanks, and they haven't killed any tanks. So that starts to add up fast. So I'm not sure who's really ahead right now, assuming they capture the front line. But it's always good to assume that if they capture the front line, they win, because that way you'll defend as much as possible. Do your best job. So now the mortar is firing at this AT gun, so I'm like, oh, you should probably get out of there. And yeah, that doesn't happen. Some mines go off, and that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, they're doing so much damage. But that's okay, I'm pulling back, I'm defending what's important. And I haven't bought any units for like 20 minutes, right? And I've been causing some losses, so I just want to slow them down as much as possible. I just killed my allies' infantry right there trying to bring that building down. And then I realized I've got this guy in the building, and can he fire out? No, he's just a tank crew up there with his pistol. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, maybe I should pull these guys back, I don't know. They're not doing so well holding out. That guy's just got some machine guns, so I figure you're better off protecting the point close in, back up. But the guy in the top of the building, maybe he can do something. His name is Manuel Williams. I'm not sure Manuel is the kind of name you would have seen in the World War II infantryman back then, but possibly. You never know. I'm trying to get a grenade out here right now, but I'm not having luck. Look how many units he's occupying. Like, he's just up here in the building, and like 20 people are firing at him. So, there you go. It's all about economy in this game mode. Use as few people to defend as possible and do as much damage. And I'm trying to hit this with my M8, but there's a building in the way. Building in the way. Story of my life. So they have 11 minutes, and they really need to capture these points. Although they are at 800, so maybe once they capture these points, that'll be good. We'll find out. We'll find out. But we're doing some good damage. Panzer III sapper, so Panzer III anti-tank mine, Panzer III anti-mine tank. I think it just went down to an anti-tank mine, if I read that kill thing correctly. And I'm waiting for them to be shootable with my M8, and I figure maybe I can shell next to them? Do I figure that? No, I figure I'm going to shoot these flamethrowers? I don't know. So far this thing has not fired one shell. And I have an M5 AT gun. When did that guy get there? I guess I moved him, I repositioned him away a while ago. So yeah, now I'm trying to shell with the M8, and it takes a little while to reload, but not like forever. And it doesn't fire in volleys, unlike most artillery. So that's nice. Look at these guys. Hit a mine? Hit a mine? No, those are AT mines, I think. I figure I'll take out the flamethrowers, because these guys seem to be getting bogged down by my infantry doing some good shots on them. Also now they're at the lower end of that slope, so it's going to be tough to hit. I don't like how this artillery is taking out all my mines. That's annoying. But there's nothing I can do about it, except run away and try not to take too many hits. Look at these explosions. They're really peppering the area with artillery before they go in. They're paying for it in terms of speed, but it's certainly paying off in terms of killing people. And notice I have not yet retreated to the back line, so I have a lot of money coming with me. Getting my M8 ready to shoot. But then I'm like, oh, I better move it. Better move it. I like the rain. It's nice to... We can't... So that is not correct, right? We had more points when we won last time, so possibly we'll win. But I'm not sure why my ally is telling me to keep them for this. Like, what else am I gonna do but try and take them from taking the front line? Like, that's the point, man. That's the game mode that we're playing. It's called front lines. So yeah, I don't know if they would win or lose or something, but this is not a very big explosion on my M8. I'm not super impressed, but that's okay because it's very accurate and fast-firing artillery. So it's helping me take out these flamethrowers. Kaboom! You guys are dead. Suck on that. And I'm constantly pulling back and repositioning because I don't want to get artilleried into the butt. And in fact, this time I'm moving forward because all he knows is where the shot came from. So it's not like he's going to know whether I'm forward or back or anything. But it doesn't matter because now I'm taking mortar hits, and that's not good. Not good at all. And I don't have no money. I don't got no money. What's over here? Fog? Why am I looking over here? Oh, I'm checking to see how my allies doing, to see how dire straits we're in. I'm down to like an AT gun, some infantry, and my M8, right? So this is not good, but he's not blitzkrieging. A lot of his points are sunk into artillery, and a lot of his pop cap is sunk into artillery too. The thing is, the more artillery you have sitting back there and shelling, the mortar, the two Vesps, those things, that counts towards your pop cap, and you can only have so many units at once. So really, not only are you hurting yourself in terms of points spent, but you're hurting yourself in terms of how many people, frankly, can go into the fight. And actually, my mines just killed a bunch of people if you were watching. Here comes the big assault, though. We have an infantry support tank, because he knows I don't have any tanks, or he assumes I don't have any tanks. We have a scout car, and then we have a bunch of infantry. Luckily, I have two Shermans. It's the two Shermans. But I keep moving both of them at once because they both come selected and I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. So he's in big trouble. He's got an infantry support tank which doesn't have the gun to penetrate a Sherman and injure the crew, but not going to do much. He killed his own scout car with his own... I think his scout car ran over an anti-personnel mine, so now it's stuck there dead in the water. The Shermans will come up and finish it off soon. And now I'm moving in for the kill because I don't want to get tied down by artillery. And I want to come in and kill these people. The guy on top got shot. That's unfortunate. And that guy on top also got shot by the mortar. But look at that. Bounces straight off. Oh, no, that's not good. He's got flak 37. A flak 37 is a flak 88 gun. So that's big, big artillery. That can punch through my Shermans. No problem at all. That's the sort of gun they have in the Tiger. I was just trying to take out his Panzer IV, but whatever. I did stall his assault, though. So that's, you know, that's the important thing, right? Got three more special unit points, and I stalled the assault, but at the cost of two Shermans. That could have gone a lot better. That flak 37 really put a dent in my day. But on the plus side, that's another artillery unit that he doesn't have to. That's another artillery unit taking up points and taking up pop caps, so it's going to be even harder for him to attack me. You know, he can only put so many infantry on the point when he's got two Vesps and a flak 37 and a mortar and God knows what else. Like, there's a limit to what you can do. So, now they're getting pretty close. They've got infantry, well, nope, not for long they don't have infantry in the point, but they've got infantry in the point, and now it's time to retreat. Retreat to the next line, bunch of points, and look, I get all my hero points back, so I should have spent those last 3 hero points before I did that, but I wasn't sure that I was going to get any hero points back, and I wanted to maybe buy some M8 artillery, but I have to stop them from taking this point from me. My ally is like, look, you have 5 people behind the sandbag, and it's like, those men, dude, come on. It's like, dude, you've been doing, I'm busy. I'm doing a lot of stuff. What are you trying to, sorry you don't have elite Korean micro. Yeah, it's like, come on. Look at me. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. And, most of those men just got killed by grenades. So that's the thing. You can't be hasty. He's like, get all your men into the point, blah blah blah. I'm blah blah. You're a bad person. But it's like, you know, if you're hasty with your units, you're just gonna lose a lot, and you have to be stingy with your units as a defender because you only get so many points. Good job, mate. See, I fought them off. They started to take the point. They took it away from me, and then started to take it, but I pushed them off, so now it's going to go back. And the thing is, I can only ever get this flag to neutral. You see it right now is neutral. I can't ever take it back for the Americans. So now, in the future, it's going to take them half as much time to cap it. Instead of having to get it from 100% US to 0%, then to 100% German, they only have to get it to 100% German. Use your special units. I'm using them. Trying to figure out which one to buy. This is an artillery tank, so I'm like, okay, that's good. Some more artillery. I can buy some artillery. And now we're down to 4 minutes, so if the cooldown on my thing is anything longer than 4 minutes, I can't use it. So I buy some Marines. Marines are very nice infantry, so I figure they'll hold the point and I'll get a croc, because we're down to 4 minutes, and it's all about it. And at this point, he gives up. He's gone. LOL. So we're pretty much going to win now that one of them's gone. They only had 4 minutes to cap those 2 points. Looks like it wouldn't work. I mean, I just bought a shit ton of stuff, you saw that. And he has to eat dinner. So that's a good reason for leaving. And if you look, I have 2,700 points left to spend, so I can throw quite a bit of the points, so I think I would have been able to hold them off. And my opponent, or my ally, looks like he's pretty good at the game too, and he's doing even better on the right, so I think we could have pulled through. And yep, see, if they sort of do those big assaults, they just sort of get mowed down by these stuff. And once I set up those sandbags and get this Sherman out from behind that church where he's hanging, things will look better. So the lesson here is that massive kills from artillery, like wiping out 70-80% defenders' forces with artillery, is not going to be enough to win, okay? You got to be able to then punch through, and the thing is, if the defenders are careful, if they hold enough back to stop you, if they lay enough mines, if they've got enough AT guns, if they bust out with some tanks at the right time, if they're ready for you, then if you can't throw the critical mass at the point and take the thing that you need to take, you're not going to be able to win. And so it's going to make it harder to throw the critical mass at the point if you've sunk a lot of points into this artillery. And then, you know, how are you going to get rid of the artillery once you've bought it? There's nothing you can do. So unless you get some massive bang for your buck, and that is a pun, with artillery, it's just, it's a risk, it's a gamble, and you gotta decide. So, they lost. They lose. Hooray for us. So I don't know, you guys know me, you guys know I'm not a big fan of artillery, so that's my take on the matter. But, I mean, presumably there's a way to get artillery to work. Certainly this Flak 37's taken out 3 of my Shermans now, so that's not bad. I guess we're talking about front lines down the bottom, so that's fine. Oh no, it's another Flak 37. Actually, that was a Panzer IV infantry support tank taking out by Tread. But yeah, a lot of stuff to learn from this match. Oh, I'm running the heck away from that crocodile, by the way, because it's gonna blow up. Oh, that guy's wondering how we got 2,000 points. So I guess 2,000 is the number. I don't think it's 2,000. I think it's higher than 2,000. But yeah, that's how front lines works. You get points for capturing. Now, so that's the whole point of the game mode. They're up to 1,000 points by killing all these Shermans and stuff. So really, I'm being super cavalier with my units, letting them all die because I know all that matters is stopping them from taking the point. If this were more down to the wire, I wouldn't want to be throwing away these hero units like this because that's giving them a ton of points. And you know, a few more of those and they can start coming back and winning. But obviously not going to happen. So I hope you've had an enjoyable time watching these couple of matches. Look at that funny little tank driving all around, smashing up those sandbags. A lot of fun stuff to learn, and you know, Frontlines is not as horribly broken as I said it was in the previous video I made. Still not a huge fan of the way it works, because it's right now it's all or nothing. Like, they didn't cap the front lines, so they lose. And there's a lot of value to that. I like the idea that it really comes down, you have to capture it. But on the other hand, look, they bought 2 Sturm Tigers. On the other hand, I like the whole defenders get incremental points, and it encourages you to take things one at a time and take as much as possible rather than just sort of giving up halfway through. So the thing is, sinking all those points, 2 Sturm Tigers, 2 Vesps at least, a mortar, Flak 37, just so much artillery. So much artillery. David Ramirez. A lot of Hispanics, it seems like, on my team this time. Interesting. Ramirez! Do everything. That's from Call of Duty. Call of Duty. Oh! Would you... Nah, I'll leave that for a later video. 19 seconds left in this one. Not much time to talk, but the end, we win. I'm amazing. Worship me. Send me carrots. Can't retreat to the next line. I was putting my mouse over that button to see if anything happened, but no. Okay, go eat some tacos.